friends, welcome back. My name is Kristen. If you haven't been here before, this is my YouTube channel. Welcome. If you haven't been here before, you may not know that I post a lot of knitting content on my YouTube channel and then just kind of some of my day-to-day stuff. But more recently, I've been doing some wedding stuff because I'm getting married in, actually yesterday was 2 months until my wedding. So I'm getting married soon. It's coming up quickly and I'm trying to do some things myself. So I figured I would show you guys how I did my wedding invitations because I'm so happy with how they came out, and you can definitely save some money or honestly just get like a better result even if you want to spend money and splurge and do something cool. We did both. We saved money and I feel like I couldn't have bought these and had them come out as good anywhere else. So I figured I'd show you guys all of the steps that we took, and if you want to try to do something similar then you can. Well, my wedding is in the spring. It's in April and it's during the daytime, and I love dried lavender, so that's going to be a big part of our centerpieces and everything really. Our dresses are purple for the bridesmaids, and so I tried to include that in the invitation. So that's kind of, which I'll talk about. So yeah, let me just go through from step one of how we made our invitation. So step one, I would say, is definitely to find out what information you have to include on your invitation. And I went to my mom and my soon-to-be mother-in-law for this because I didn't want to leave anything out. And they were very helpful, actually. There were some things that I almost did leave out. So I'll tell you guys what we put on our invitation, and hopefully that's helpful. We put our names, we put the date of the wedding, we put the location of the ceremony, the time of the ceremony, the location of the reception, time of the reception. We wrote formal attire requested because we're having a formal wedding and we want people to show up in something that they feel comfortable and good in. And we put our, I don't know how many numbers I meant, but we put our wedding website, we put our RSVP date that we want people to respond by, and they do that on the wedding website. We put a QR code, we put our wedding password, so when you go on our website there was like a little password you enter and then you could say if you'd be there or not. And then we also put 2 hotel recommendations and little information about the hotel. So that's everything we've included. We almost didn't put an RSVP by date, which is a good thing to put, that way you don't have to search for people as much as the wedding gets close. So I would say step one is find out everything you need to put on your invitation. Write it all down somewhere, make sure everything is correct, because obviously you want people to show up at the right time and the right place. And that's step one. Step two, I would definitely say go to Pinterest, go through Pinterest and find inspiration. I am no graphic designer at all, so I found a lot of inspiration on Pinterest. I found inspiration for the font that I wanted to use. I found inspiration for how I wanted to word what I was writing. And I also wanted to include dried lavender in my invitation because I love dried lavender. And so I found some inspiration for how to do that as well. So I will include my Pinterest board. I think I already said that in the description. But I would say go through Pinterest, go through Google. I don't know, I'm sure there's other places you can look. I'm sure if you went on Instagram and typed in wedding invitation, you'd find some cool stuff. So find some inspiration and then save them all, that way you can refer back to them. Next, we made our invitation on Google Slides. So I just made a slide. I made it the size that I wanted it to print it out as, and then I did everything on there, which is probably, if you're a graphic designer, you're probably like, oh my god, that's a terrible way to do it, but that's how I did it, and it came out great. So I'll be back. I'm back. So here is the unfinished invitation that we got printed. We just went to Staples, but if you have your own printer and you want to buy nice paper, or I don't know if people have Staples everywhere, but it's like a office store that you can get stuff printed. And we got these printed. So this is, the font is inspired by one I saw online. This is just a picture I found, like a free image on Google, and I typed everything in the slide. I found these 2 fonts on a website online, which I can link below. So if you type in free fonts online, there's a ton that you won't find on Google Docs or Slides or Microsoft or whatever you're using. So that's where I got these for our name. And that's everything really. We found this free image, fonts, everything was free here, and then we just got them printed at Staples. We got it on a pretty nice thick paper, which I would recommend if you're doing it yourself because it definitely makes it look nicer. But yes, that is what it looks like. I'm very happy with how that came out. And then along with this, we got another piece of paper printed. This one's on a much thinner paper. This one definitely doesn't need to be fancy, and it's just the RSVP information and the hotel info. So when we sent out our invitations, we put this behind that. We put it so you could see the words, that way they didn't accidentally throw it out. And that is what we printed. So step 2 was find inspiration. Step 3 is then to type up everything. So now you have what you want to include and what you kind of want it to look like. And I would say take a lot of time. This is probably the most important step, because once you get it printed, you can't change it. And you're going to spend more money than you would have if you just bought them, if you then have to reprint them because you made a mistake. So take your time on this part, send it to people after you make it. That's what I did. I sent it to my cousins and my sisters and my mom, my future mother-in-law, and I was like, all right, how does this look? So yeah, step 3, make it. Step 4, make sure that you love it. Step 5, get them printed. That's a lot of steps already. So this is what ours looks like when we got it in a box from Staples. Next step is to decide how you're going to decorate them. So you could totally send out your invitation like this. You could make something cooler, you could include more color, or you can leave it like this. You can get them in the mail, you could put them in the envelope, and you can mail them out. But like I said, I wanted the dried lavender and something really pretty and formal and springy. I've really leaned into the whole spring thing, especially because we're having a daytime wedding, and I was kind of nervous about the daytime wedding thing, but I think the idea that it's going to be spring and pretty has gotten me really excited, because we picked our venue because it's so beautiful. So you want to obviously be able to see it and enjoy it to its fullest. So that is why we chose to do lavender. So I bought my lavender. They come in little bouquets like this. And I bought them at Trader Joe's. They don't have the price. I want to say they were like $8 or $9 for a bunch, and we sent out about 130 individual invitations, and we bought 6 bunches, and we only used like 2. So maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe we sent out like 120 invitations and we used like 2.5 of these. I'm not sure, but I will say that there's a lot more in them than you'd think, because as you open it, there are more down here, and you need them short, so you can use the little ones. And it smells so good. My car smelled so good on the way home. I just love, love, love lavender. So this is what they looked like. We bought the dry twine at Michael's. This was like $2. And we bought super glue. And so now you have step 6 or 7, is to pick how you're gonna decorate and then buy the stuff you need for it. So we have our invitations, we have our lavender, our string, and then we also got super glue. Buy nice super glue. We decided to buy cheap super glue, and we regretted it because it really was not good, and it took us forever to do the next step. So next step, and I'm so excited to show you guys how the invitations came out. This is what our invitations look like. And this is our little lavender and the twine. So we first, Michael, my fiance, put a little bit of glue on the card and shook it. If you've put on fake eyelashes before, you can't do it. You'll know. You can't do it when the glue is super wet. You have to do it when the glue is like almost dry and a little bit tacky. Same thing applies here. When you do them when it's wet, and then as it dries, they just kind of pop off. So you put a little bit of glue, a little down on here. You shake the card until it's like tacky and not super wet. And then you put the flower on and you hold it down. You can kind of see the glue down there, but you put the flower on, you hold it down, and it dries. You can do a bunch at once, and then I cut the twine and I did the little bow. And that is just tight enough that it's not gonna go anywhere. Like, you can hold it by this, it's not gonna go anywhere. So I would definitely pull it tighter than you think you need to. If it's a thick paper, it's not going to rip. It would like bend the paper when I tie it, and then I just straighten it out and adjust till it looked good. And that is how they looked. I love them. I think they came out so cute. Everyone said that when they got them in the mail, they still smelled like lavender, which was really cute. And I think they look so good. I love the way the font looks. Again, I'll link it below. I love the way the lavender looks. You can also buy the lavender online, and I was hesitant to do that because I didn't want it to come in the mail and not look good. Obviously, that would stink. But there are some places with great reviews. Amazon has dried lavender, and then there's a lot of Etsy's and things like that that sell dried lavender, so I would definitely advise checking those out if you can't get it in person, because I know that lavender is seasonal, so they won't always have it at Trader Joe's, but it is cheap and it's really nice. So yeah, if you can get that, I would definitely recommend, and then you don't have to worry about getting it online and not liking it. The last thing that I wanted to show you guys was our envelopes, because we actually bought super cute envelopes and I thought they looked really nice, so I just thought I'd show you. So again, we took our invitation, put it like this, and then we put it into these brown envelopes. And they were super nice. I got these from Amazon, so I'll link them, but I will say that the sticky part, like you peel this paper off and it's supposed to stick and it doesn't, but we used super glue and it was fine, so I would suggest them. They're very nice and they're the cheapest ones on Amazon because the glue kind of sucks. And then we bought, and this was Michael, kind of, he saw it online and he got excited, which was very cute, but kind of unnecessary. We bought an embosser. And so you put paper in between and you squeeze. It's actually kind of hard to do when you have like thick paper in between. And you squeeze, 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 and it makes an indent on your paper. So our envelopes have this cute little MK at the top with a little heart. I hope you can see it on camera. I think you should be able to. And that was the last step for us. I clearly did a bad job counting the steps, but we put these in here with the little embossing, and I just am so happy with how our cards came out. I think that if we had got them online, we just couldn't have gotten anything as cool as these. And I'm very excited because we're also doing our own centerpieces, and we're also doing those with dried lavender, so I'm feeling a lot more confident about those now as well. But that is everything. That's how we did our invitations. If you have any questions, please ask, because we really had a lot of fun. Also, we sat down, the lavender string part took us like 3 full nights of sitting down. We did probably like 40 a night. Yeah, so we had like 120. So we were able to get like 40 done per night. And we did it while watching Gilmore Girls. And I had to put my knitting down for it for 3 nights, but that's okay. But I would highly suggest doing them yourself because it was really fun. We had a really good time doing them together. Definitely frustrating at times, but worth it. And that's everything. I will link everything below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them because I would love to help. And if you make your own invitations, please, please, please show me because I would love to see them. That is everything for today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I'll be able to share more wedding updates over the next 2 months of how we do our centerpieces and I don't know, any other planning that we have going on. I had my bridal shower last week. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted some pictures at it. I had my dress try-on, which went perfectly. Like, I honestly could have taken my dress home at the first try-on and it would have looked great, but I had to get it taken in a tiny bit. But that was great because I was kind of nervous about it. And we had our food tasting, which was so good, so amazing. And yeah, I'm really excited. We might be doing our favors soon. We're trying to pick out something to give as favors at the end of the party, so maybe I'll be able to update that for you guys in our next video. But that is all for now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this was helpful.